Hi friends, my name is Mindy. I'm the myofunctional therapist at TMJ and Sleep Therapy Center of Utah. And in an earlier video, I had videoed what correct tongue posture is. And today I wanted to talk to you about if tongue posture really matters and why it does. And of course, yes, tongue posture really does matter. If you don't know what tongue posture is, go ahead and search a previous video that we've done here so that you can see what that correct tongue posture is. But it really does matter because where the tongue is resting in the mouth helps with facial development, and it supports healthy breathing and is the foundation for a healthy swallow. Now, correct tongue posture should be established early on in infancy. And we see that in a sucking child when they're sucking on pacifiers or when they're feeding, different things like that. Their tongue is up in that correct tongue posture. And anytime that we're not eating or speaking, our tongue should be there as well. So if you have yourself or a child or a friend who you notice is breathing with their mouth open, then their tongue is in low resting posture and not supporting that development. Now, that critical development for facial development, 60% of that happens by the time we're 6 years old. So early on, catching if a child is mouth breathing is really important so that we can help establish correct tongue posture and get them breathing through their nose better, because 60% of their facial development already happens by the age of 6. And by the time they're 12 years old, 90% of facial development has occurred. So we want to be sure that we can address tongue posture and correct it early so that the facial development can happen correctly. But then back to the nasal breathing. Nasal breathing is really important, and when our tongue is out of posture, the roof of our mouth can elevate because it's going to go up into our open sinuses, kind of that path of least resistance. So it's going to arch more than being nice and rounded. And that can affect breathing for the rest of their lives. So correct tongue posture is really important for that. And then on to it being the foundation for a healthy swallow. When our tongue is in correct tongue posture, the tip of our tongue presses into the roof of our mouth when we initiate that swallow, creating a healthy swallow. And when the tongue isn't functioning correctly, we get tongue thrusting during that swallow, where the tongue is moving in a way to have the different parts of the mouth move the food further down onto the tongue rather than the tongue doing it the correct way. It's using extra parts of our body to help push that food down. We commonly see that with a forward thrust. Of course, that was exaggerated, but a forward thrusting motion during the swallow. But a tongue thrust can also happen if it's splaying out to the sides. And the tongue is a really strong organ and can push teeth out of position. So when it's in correct tongue posture and functioning correctly in a swallow, then we don't have to worry as much about the teeth getting pushed out of place because of an improper swallow. And swallowing is something that we do thousands of times a day, so you can imagine how it can affect the teeth when they're having a force pushed against them in an incorrect way. So is tongue posture really important? You bet. And if you feel like you or someone that you know needs help learning how to correct their tongue posture, we are here to help you.